Might have to dig out if you're headed to that game. The snow is still falling, but for a lot of us, maybe already started or will continue doing, is that task of shoveling.
And while it may be light snow, there are still important health reminders to keep in mind. Dr. Jorge Pletzky is the Director of Preventative Cardiology at Brigham and Women's Hospital. Dr. Pletzky, thanks so much for being here with us this morning.
Sure, thank you.
What do you worry about most when you think about people who are heading out to move all of that snow around?
Well, for some people, it may be the first time they're exerting themselves to that level. And we know that shoveling snow is a very high level of exertion. You can very quickly, studies suggest, within 10 minutes, reach 100% of your maximum heart rate. And so for people with a history of heart disease or just risk factors, that can be quite an exertion. It's like suddenly doing a maximal stress test and bringing on issues related to that.
Doc, what are some of the warning signs that folks out there might be, we tough New Englanders will say, well, we'll work through it, but, there are signs something may be seriously happening and you need to be able to take a break, head on inside for a bit.
Yes. The classic signs of chest pain and perhaps associated shortness of breath, nausea, radiation down the arms are certainly very valid, but we also want people to pay attention to more subtle signs like chest pressure, aching in the jaw. Just the nausea can still be relevant. And so listening to your body, slowing down, taking breaks, and stopping, if you're feeling any of those, is good advice and highly warranted, especially when you're out there in the cold, which may be its own factor for why these issues arise. The cold can constrict arteries and make things worse.
And there really is no messing around with this, and we know heart issues present differently, but are there, and maybe you just spoke about this, more subtle signs that people should pay attention to during this kind of weather?
Yeah, it's things like I'm feeling more short of breath than I would expect to be. I'm having an ache in my jaw or in my neck that is surprising and feels different. These are all signs to pay attention to and to not push it, to sort that out. There are various strategies people can take to have less of a load, like taking breaks, covering your mouth so you warm the air that's on its way in, to not necessarily shovel and lift because using your arms is more of an exertion, but to push and to swipe. But you really do want to listen to any sense you have that something's off, including these other, somewhat atypical symptoms that aren't classic chest pain. Even that chest pressure can be a sign.
It's been 4 years since we had this amount of snow, so maybe folks haven't had to face it for a while. Dr. Jorge Pletzky, thank you very much. Cardiologist with Mass General Brigham. We thank you for joining us this morning. Our Nicole Estefan is over in Newton Center for us.